Hey math kids, we're going to finish talking about absolute value functions, and we have this. Okay, so we're going to approach this a little bit different. We're going to square both sides, which is going to give us essentially this. And when we do that, we're going to square this, and I'm not going to go through the steps on that. Just make sure you do 3x plus 1 times 3x plus 1, and then you'll combine like terms in the middle. And then feel free to come to Math Lab if you want to talk about that more. Okay, then I'm going to subtract everything onto the same side, and that's going to give me this. Okay. Now, once we're here, we're going to t-factor this. So you're going to like do 5 times negative 8, get a common factor, draw your box, and factor it. And when you do that, you end up with this. Okay. Now, from here we can pull out our roots, right? So we can make a sign diagram. We can have negative 4, and we have 2/5. You can set each of these equal to 0 and solve for x to find those values. Then I'm just going to choose values that are in between these. And if I plug in a negative 5 right here, that's definitely going to be negative. If I plug in a negative 5 here, negative. And so negative times negative is positive. If I plug in a 0, that's negative. Plug in a 0, that's positive. Negative times positive is negative. If I plug in a 1, that's definitely positive. Plug in a 1, that's positive. Positive times positive is positive. Now, when we look at the original, it was greater than. So we're only going to focus on the pieces that have plus signs. And so we're going to say x is less than or equal to, since it's equal to up there, negative 4, or x is greater than or equal to 2/5. Okay, looking at the next one. Okay. So when we're doing this one, we're going to square both sides again. So we end up with x over x plus 1, quantity squared, is greater than or equal to 1/4. When we square this, we just square the top, square the bottom. So we end up with x squared. And if you go through this, it's going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to that. I'm gonna multiply both sides by the bottom here. X squared plus 2x plus 1, x squared plus 2x plus 1. So this will cancel this. We're left with x squared. It's greater than or equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1 over 4. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. And so we have 4x squared is greater than or equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. And after we do that, we're going to move everything onto one side. Move it, so combine it with this. And so we end up with 3x squared minus 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Then we would box method factor, and that's going to end us with this. And from here, we can get our roots. We're going to have negative 1/3, positive 1. Choose my values. If I plug in a negative 1 here, it's definitely going to be negative. Plug in a negative here, definitely negative. Negative times negative is positive. Plug in a 0, positive. 0 is negative. Positive times negative is negative. Plug in a 2, positive. Plug in a 2, positive. Positive times positive is positive. Now the original is greater than, so we only want to focus on the positives. And so we will say x is less than or equal to, since this is equal, negative 1/3, or x is greater than or equal to 2. Or not 2, 1. This one. Okay. And then they want us to show graphically, or solve graphically. Okay, so we start with this. So just like all the other stuff, so we have absolute value of x plus 1, that's already there. And then a shortcut for square root is SQRT. Okay. Alright, so the original is asking when the green is greater than the purple. So the first thing is when we're to the left of negative 1, let's see, we want the green, so when the green is greater than the purple, yeah. So the green is greater than the purple when we're to the left of 0.247. Negative 1.247. And I guess maybe it's better if I just sketch this, but so when x is less than that one, and then the purple's on top here, and then when we're in between these two values, that's the rest of our answer. So, or when 0.445 and 1.80. Okay. And yeah. Now, there is some nuance to this. Because the purple function just like stops, we actually don't go all the way to the left. So see how the purple one stops? So it's really only in between those two values. And so this one I'm going to change to negative 1.26 is less than x is less than negative 1.24. So final answer are the ones in red because the function stopped. Okay, if you need additional help, please come to MathLab. Until then, calculator.